Hi, this is Dan at Mike Ward Infinity. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today we're going to take a look at the QX55 versus the QX50. Let's go take a look. Have this great opportunity to take a look at the 2022 QX55 on my left and the 2021 QX50 on my right. Both of these are sensory trim, both in dynamic sunstone. This color was first launched with the Q50 Red Sport, I believe in 2016. It's things that we're starting to find our way onto our more sporty SUVs. So this car that I'm looking at right here, this is the QX50 versus the 55. A lot of similarities, but mostly subtleties that separate these two. Starting with the 55, we have a much larger badge versus the QX50. Also, too, the grille ripples out differently as well. Now, I went so far as to check the parts numbers on the headlights, and they're actually the exact same headlight between both the vehicles, and I believe the same hood. Also, too, down in the front fascia is that we're seeing what I consider an homage to the Q50 Red Sport. We get this more aggressive design, integrated fog lights, and then black trim along the lower valance as well. Coming over to the 50, you'll see that things are just a lot more subtle for 2021, that we get this honeycomb entrance in here, as well as down here. Much more symmetrical as far as the origami folds in the grille. And then we're also seeing that same cube LED headlight, LED turn signal. Coming around to the side here too, this is a 20-inch wheel that is standard on all QX55s. This is bespoke to this particular vehicle. There's actually 3 wheel choices with the QX50. This is the sensory wheel. It's a little bit more of a sporty design. So this will come on regardless of the trim level, whether it's the entry level, mid, or sensory with the QX50. Coming up the side here too, always a black mirror cap unless you opt for a matte chrome accessory that you can have done from factory, or you can have it done in a parts department of any dealership. And then it's always a color match in QX50. Roof runners too, where we would mount things like a roof rack or crossbar, is always going to be black in the 55, or we have this brushed aluminum. Reason for that is that they wanted to make the 55 a little bit more of an aggressive looking car, so you see a lot more black accents that are tying things together on the wheels, mirror caps, as well as the roof runners to mount those crossbars, but then also spoiler as well. QX55, the 55 it is black, and the 50 it is a color match as well. Big changes also to that take place for the rear hatch as well. So your trunk release for the 50 is right here. License plate is also in the center of the hatch. In the 55, what they did is that they made a larger badge. This right here is actually the button for your hatch up and down button. Move the license plate down lower, and then also added a color match rear balance. Some of the kind of arrow touches too. It's the same tailpipe, but we're seeing that how it's red here. And then the silver in the 50. So I feel like it's a little bit more of an integrated look that comes with the 50. So the big difference too is, then when you're looking at the side profile too, is that this was a design that was supposed to be an homage to the FX SUV, which was the first crossover coupe. That was a segment that Infiniti defined, and we see this roofline that's very similar to that FX as an homage. And that's where you see the real big difference between the two. What you're losing going with the 55 is about 10 cubic feet of cargo space that you get with the 50. Also in the 55, this is the sunroof option. But this is the only size sunroof that you'll get with the 55, where it is panoramic in the sensory on the QX50. Weight savings too, 398 pounds is the difference between the two vehicles. Also to the driving of them too, this car feels stiffer. I think a large part of that is that we don't have a gigantic hole in the roof for the panoramic movability of that sunroof, where you have a much smaller one here too. Mechanically, very similar vehicles, same chassis, engine, suspension, but the transmissions are different. The 55 uses a revised torque converter that is going to be also a revision that's going to come to the 22 for the 22 model year. It feels snappier, the car feels lighter, and it just feels like a stiffer, tighter car when driving. Also, the 2022 QX55 wireless Apple CarPlay. Same locations of the screens and everything, but you do have compatibility now with wireless CarPlay. Thank you so much for stopping by and taking a look and understanding the difference between the 55 and the 50. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I do this every week where we go over a particular thing in the Infiniti lineup or a particular product feature. So if there's something you want to see, just leave it in the comments below. Thanks so much.